Alright, let's start with 4 hour here. Good 4 hour just closed. I mean, just, you know what I mean by just. Um, well, actually, on this 1 hour, we have this inside, outside bar here. Um, so basically, the patterns that we're looking for here are kind of like a BART, um, or a dump to this low, and then kind of look for a reaction that maybe either continues upward as a BART or ends up just dumping, breaking down and dumping. If we start to consolidate underneath this region, I would think that that's pretty bearish. We already have a pretty clear um, range here. Oops. We have a pretty clear range here, such that, but we also have so much depth down here left to go beneath this range on this wick. Which entail like it's familiar territory a little bit, right? Like maybe this shouldn't have happened, and maybe on other exchanges it's not as deep as this, although I'm quite sure it is on most exchanges. But like there was something that happened here, right? So if we started to consolidate kind of in a similar way to this, probably on a much shorter time frame, like few candles, like 4 to 5 candles. If we started to break down under here and then put in 4 or 5 candles of consolidation, kind of like this, these first 5 candles here, I would think that we're probably going to go lower, like maybe something like this. We might still get a little bit of test upward of this part of this channel, of this range, horizontal range, but then probably dump lower, would be my instinct. So bulls really do want to hold these levels, I think, but at the same time, like you don't necessarily need to hold this level because bulls really would like to be buying down here, right? Like bulls would like to hold this low, get a buy in here, make a double bottom, and then pump. From here, that's when this low becomes important. We want to let the dump happen, fill our bids, reclaim this level, and then send it upwards, off of a double bottom. That's what bulls would be thinking. But it's pretty hard to be super eager about getting long for anything other than just a scalp, just because of how strong this is. This is just so strong that, oh, this is such a strong dump here. Like right after you take all time high, by the way, you take all time high and then immediately dump 10%, 8%. It's not like this is just not what you should see. We should be more confidently pushing into the highs. And of course, it's an all-time high following an all-time high because we did get the first all-time high right here as well, right? So this is also an all-time high. Don't discount that. Like this is the first all-time high, and then this is the swing high, all-time high. We shouldn't discount that. But we do have a pretty strong sell-off that breaks trend lines pretty clearly, right? That breaks the strong trend that's kind of carried us here all the way from 60. We get a big correction and then kind of a buy off of this um, support area, right? Kind of thing. We got a bounce here off the support. We got a bounce here off the support. Then we get the bounce here, weaker bounce. It breaks through here, but then immediately pumps off of this level. Like we can't even get to the bottom of this box, or even to this level. Like, incidentally, this is the outside bar that kind of started it. And if I remember correctly, this is the outside bar that we bought as well. Let me guess, is it 219 or something like that? Yeah, 66, 219. I do believe that we bought on this. So this level ends up being this buy level. If you end up having a break-even stop, I guess it gets run on this thing. But if you have your stop underneath it, which is, I mean, technically where it should be, it doesn't really make sense technically for break-even stops. Break-even stops are more of a psychologically fulfilling kind of thing. It's not, there's no technical reason to ever have a break-even stop. You have the break-even stop so that when your huge profited position gets stopped out, you don't feel as bad about it getting run against you, because at least you didn't lose money. But yeah, in this situation, yeah, you should have been keeping the stop if you played this bar and for some reason didn't find any reason to find a way out of here. And I think that makes some sense because this is a pretty clear bull flag channel. I mean, we were looking, once we got back down here, we were looking for the buys anyway. We picked up the buy on this one. So it makes sense to keep your stop. But if you did have the break-even stop, that kind of sucks. But nevertheless, we end up getting the double top here. And this is one of those kind of low-ish volume pumps. You know, when they like break it, bring it back down, and you just kind of have that one little pump, like a single bar. Honestly, usually you don't see it to be like multiple bars like this, but on the 4 hour, I'm sure it's just one bar up and then one bar down. But you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Recognition somewhere in this region, probably under this bar. We really shouldn't have gone this far on this bar, and once we continue through it, it's pretty clear like this is not what we want. This is not the look that we want. And we start crashing through all of this. So this is just really strong, and I think it warrants a second leg down. So I'm expecting to see something like this probably. Back into this region. This is just not really the look, like especially on the 4 hour and stuff like that. Major trend line broken, retest. In fact, I'm going to clear off all the drawings here. Major trend line broken, retest of this. I think we should see at least this box again. And honestly, this bull trend could be done. Because this is yet again a test of this high, right? Strong major trend line broken, two-legged retest, kind of a three-legged retest here, which is good for bulls. But I mean, I don't think it's unbullish to have a retracement to this area. I don't think it would be unbullish, especially if we get like a double double bottom bull flag right here. I don't think that would be out of the question. And then we could still go, oh man, this is 2023. I mean, so that's kind of what we're looking at right now on a higher time frame level. So on this low time frame, we have attempt by bulls to break back up here and then kind of not really happening. So now bulls should be in control and try and take a shot at like 66 area. And I don't know, like if it ends up working out in their favor, maybe we end up rejecting from there and going lower, because I do think that we still probably need to have a test of this low of some sort, like even if it just ends up going like here. But basically this bar right here is, oops, one to the left. This bar is kind of like outside bar in the middle of a trading range, so you don't really like it to be meaningful at all. But when you have this much sideways consolidation, you start to think of the possibility of, and like look how often bulls have been in control. Like this is the strongest section of either bulls or bears making moves, and it belongs to the bulls. They were able to put in a higher high above this reversal bar, which by the way was a pretty strong reversal bar, because this was a huge range bar and broke back into it. Honestly, this is its own trading range here, right? This bar. And this bar kind of sets the, you have the push up, and now you're looking to see if bulls can hold the level and make yet another push up. And they held the level pretty nicely, I think. Have not taken a new high. This now becomes its own micro trading range, which we respect. Like this is inside, 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 inside. 3 inside bars off of this outside bar. IOI. There's no trade for the IOI. Maybe there's a trade above here to try and get to this high level, and I guess there's a trade. You can take the trade under here, but you really would rather just get out of the outside bar first and then take the trade from above the outside bar. Once probably on a retest, because you don't really want to be buying the high of the outside bar just as we clear above the outside bar. But nevertheless, we have, let me clear these so that we can just be clear. This is our outside bar. This is the attempt by bears to push down to the low. Bulls kind of rebuff a little bit, but this is really the candle where bulls step in. And now we have 2 legs down, 2 attempts down within the outside bar that were unsuccessful. Bulls step up and create a higher high. I think a break above this is a reasonable play. And because we're in such a tight trading range, I think you have to be really careful about this play because it very easily can just spike out and come back and dump lower. So you really want to be careful, really quick on the draw with this, I think. But I think this makes sense. I think this trade makes sense, and probably under the outside bar. Actually, probably just underneath this bar. I don't know. I don't really like it. I feel like there's a high chance of it just whipsaw out like here, literally just to here, and then come through and take your stop. So kind of something to have to be careful with. On the higher time frame, this looks more like a bear flag. On the 4 hour, this is looking much more like a bear flag than a bull flag, and like we just have to break down through here, and then we're going to take a shot at the low. So this is kind of what we're looking at on this next 4 hour candle. How's this 4 hour candle going to develop? Because on the 4 hour candle, this certainly is not a buy above here. This is an inside bar. So technically you can have a trade like this, but so much overlap in these last 5 candles, very barbed wiry, very tight trading range. I think we want to wait for a clear push outside, and I think the push that we would like to be looking for is more so a bearish push than a bullish push, because I think it's a little bit stacked against the bulls right now. So that's what we're looking at. And this 1 hour closing like this, we definitely want to see now. Are we going to keep pushing lower here? Oh my gosh, yeah. Are we going to keep pushing lower here? Like this signal is about to get wiped out entirely. Shouldn't have bought, shouldn't be buying right now, right? But yeah, so we'll see. That's what we're looking for the next hour.